الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I said that this is our last lecture on Surah Al-Fatiha. We're just going to discuss the first part of Surah Al-Ladina An'amta alayhim. It said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. It said, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. We are on the straight path. Sirat. Sirat al-Ladina. So we're just going to, Sirat. It's a word in Arabic that doesn't have a plural. It's only one sirat, one way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sirat al-ladina. There's some other words for route and path. Sabil, subulana. Sabil is a single, and subulana is a plural. But sirat doesn't have a plural. So we can from that say there's only one way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes when we're sitting in our communities and sitting with our friends, and so the majority of people that are not Muslim, we're just a small minority, all over the world, except in Muslim lands, is that sometimes you can have the doubt, and there's nothing wrong with it, of us being on the right path. So there's nothing wrong having doubt about what Islam is. And a lot of people, when they reach a certain age, they are confronted with the thought, are we the only people that are going to Jannah? So in this regard, we can say there's only one way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that on the Sirat. And a while ago, we started to talk, we discussed what is laws, morals, and beliefs. And from the beginning of time, the beliefs and the morals were all the same. There were one belief in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala since Nabi Adam, through all the prophets of Allah till Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was never one change in the beliefs. There was never change in the morals also. Since the beginning of time, you have to be proper, you have to be good to other people, you have to look after your parents, you have to look all that other type of stuff. So the beliefs and the morals were always, since the beginning of time, the beliefs and the morals were the same. Nothing changed. If you wanted to be a good person, then in the time of Nabi Adam or Nabi Noor or Nabi Ayub or Nabi Hud, all the stuff, all the attributes of a good person will be the same up till now. But what have changed over the time is laws. In the beginning of time, there were no real laws. And Nabi Musa was the first Nabi to get a comprehensive list of laws, because societies becomes more structured and a bit more complex. So there must be laws. So generally, the rule behind a law is to keep people away from criminality, of not to be a criminal. So the main focus of laws of criminalizing a person, or say this is criminal for you to do. So in that sense, laws is about criminality, is about people doing the wrong things. So we can ask ourselves, what is there's two different types of laws also. Things you should do and some things you should not do. In the times, a thing that you should not do is terms of maybe traffic fines. You must not drive over 100 kilometers or 60 kilometers in an urban area. And then stuff like laws that you should apply to is maybe zoning laws of building a house. You cannot build a house on the sea, on the beachfront or somewhere there. So there are laws that you can do, and there are laws that you should not do. For instance, you should not be killing someone. And but to follow laws, it doesn't make you a good person. Generally, people that are good people will follow laws, but people that are citizens, that are abiding by laws, they're not generally good people. أولادكم مثل خشية الإملاق إن أولادكم من خشية الإملاق. The Quran say You should not kill your children when you're in poverty. Some people kind of said, oh, I'm a very good person. I'm a law-abiding person. I haven't killed my children because of poverty. So that's not something that you can brag about or boast about. To say, I haven't killed someone. So to be a law-abiding citizen, to say, I'm following the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I haven't killed my children. So laws doesn't make you a good person. It just, they say that you're abiding by the laws of the country. So so if it, there's different laws. And in Islamic context, you can look at different types of spiritual laws and social laws and economic laws. You can generally you can categorize laws in Islam in three categories. The first one is the spiritual laws, the Fardul Ain. And in the Fardul Ain, there are two different components to it also. Fardul, the Fard Ibadah, the thing that you should do. In that sense, there's two parts with Fardul Kifaya and Fardul Ain. Example of Fardul Kifaya is when a person dies. So it is up to the community to see that person is buried. So it's on, if there's a masjid and nobody goes to the masjid, the whole community are responsible, are held accountable to Allah that the masjid wasn't open or people didn't make salah in the masjid. Or the whole when a person dies, in the accountability, the responsibility is on a person to look after himself. But when he dies, the community's responsibility to ghusl that person, wash him, and put him into the grave. So that's a difference between the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the laws that pertains to communities. But then there's another form of laws, two types of laws, mu'amalat and mu'asharat. Mu'asharat is the social laws of a society. The laws that the interaction between people. And in that sense, there's also two parts of that law. Mu'asharat, you can generally describe, if it is not prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then everything is allowed. Maybe I should say this. Everything allowed unless it is prescribed. In the fard that we are, everything is prohibited unless it is prescribed by Allah, like salah. Everything that are completely that you must do, that stuff, if it is not prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything else is prohibited. Like to say we have to make salah. Salah, if you want to make some other stuff, they say, no, Allah said, I must go sit under a tree every day. That is not the fard. It is a component to say, if it is not prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is not allowed. But on the other side, the mu'asharat and the mu'amalat, everything is allowed unless it is prescribed. That is to do with the interaction between people. And as I said, mu'asharat is the social laws of a country. there's two distinctions in the mu'asharat. The mu'asharat say everything. There's some stuff like the inheritance law, weddings, marriages that are prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's no other way to do it. You have to get married a certain way. You have to divide your inheritance a certain way. So that is prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In everything outside the interaction between society and men, and there's a spiritual law, spiritual side of social law, on how do you you should not slap a person in the face. There is no punishment for it, but there's a spiritual law. And on the same side, mu'amalat is everything that has got to do with the economy of the economy, the society, the economy in society, of the economy. There's certain spiritual laws in society say you should not be dishonest. But then there are specific economic laws in terms of usury, interest, and stuff like that. So both have got their spiritual laws in mu'amalat, in mu'asharat. So, but part of that also, there's one ayat also, I can't remember the ayat now, but we said you should not hoard your money. Every money you should make, you should always ploy it back into side in the economy. No, you should not have sit with 5 million or 10 million rand that you're not doing anything with, or some people sitting with billions. That is not allowed. If you earn money, you certainly you should retain some of the money. There's no problem with that, but you should not hoard money that it will come billions of rands, of millions and millions and millions of rands. So as I said, fardul ain, the fard is combined, is divided into two. Fardul ain, fardul kifaya. Fardul ain is your personal responsibility like salah. Fardul kifaya is also community. That's the stuff that are obligatory, no to us. The personal one and the community one. And then the other parts of laws are social and economic laws. And inside that social economic laws are spiritual part and a legal part. And economics, there's also a spiritual component to doing business, how to interact with people when you're doing business. There's spiritual laws. You should not be dishonest. But then there's also the usury law on how to run a country. There's specific ideas on how you should not take interest from people. When you're lending the money, you should not take interest from them. So that's all that laws. So there's people that implemented this morals and beliefs. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم, we should follow the people that came before us. In this sense, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not our only moral guide. فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. We should follow the Nabis that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala posted on this earth. And the second part of it was Siddiqeen, those people that accepted the prophets immediately after that. Like Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the truthful one. So that is the people that we should follow. Washuhada, those people that sacrifice their life for Islam. Was-Salihin. Maybe example of a Salih person is Luqman. I know that we've discussed. No. Previously. So you can hear the dua sometimes. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. So that is a people that we should follow in terms of morals and in terms of belief, how they believe and how committed Nabi Ibrahim was. Khalilullah, he's the most beloved to Allah. He had a certain fundamental way of how to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was committed. So he's one of those people, Nabihin. There's a lot of stories of how he slaughtered and how he was catapulted into a fire. So he was such a strong belief that there was no doubt in his mind that he should submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if the most difficult, horrendous circumstances he was in. He had to slaughter his son. He was catapulted into a big fire, and inside the Ibrahim, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the fire so cool for him. He stayed weeks in the fire, and it was such a coolness for him. So that is a way to believe. If it comes to the morals, Siddiqeen wa Shuhada wa Salihin. As I said, like Sayyidina Luqman, when he gave advice to his son, he was not a prophet. He was not a shuhada, but he was a salih person. He was a pious person, and the Quran even included his advice to his son. So that is the advice that we can follow from people that are before us. It doesn't say people that are with us at the moment, because it doesn't make sense to ask for a person that are your peer for career advice. You ask for people that have been successful and it's been written up. So So that's that complete sort of the story of of the, not the story, but the way in how we should believe. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, the Fatiha is a fundamental way of how we should believe. We started off with Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin to show our gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the first place. And the second part was Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That's also the greatness of Allah. And then we come to, we accept Allah in the greatness, his attributes and stuff like that. Then when we were convinced that he's a person that we should worship to, then we made ourselves slaves. Iyaka na'budu. We are the slave. We are going to worship you. Wa iyaka nasta'in. We're going to follow your help. Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim. We're going to follow the one road of the morals and the beliefs and the laws of the Quran, as spelled out by the previous prophets. All the prophets is the same morals, all the prophets is the same beliefs. So we follow those prophets and we follow the law that was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of those laws was the inheritance laws, the marriage laws, and all that type of. We follow the laws of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We don't follow the laws of Nabi Musa or Nabi Isa or Nabi Ibrahim. We follow the laws that was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as I said last week, al-maghdub, we don't follow those people that earn the anger of Allah because they know they've got the knowledge and they do the opposite. Because they don't think they have got all the knowledge, like the Jews, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said last week, it's not just Jews. The Jews are the examples of people that had knowledge and they didn't think about it and they didn't act upon it. Then the Christians, as an example, they follow blindly. That's why they follow Jesus is the triunion of all the type of stuff. They don't have knowledge, but they act upon it. So we should not be part of those people that we follow the rules, we follow the laws, the beliefs, and the laws of Allah, and we should not follow the people that had the knowledge and they did something else. And we should not follow those people that they didn't have the knowledge but they act upon it. So that is a translation, so sort of the tafsir of Surah Fatiha. So that is part of our beliefs from the beginning, to say every time we read Surah Fatiha, that is our belief from the start. I would like you to think about it all the time, not just inside Salah, but outside Salah, to say, how do we become a better, if we have the morals and the beliefs is to make us be better people, and the laws is not to make us criminals. So the laws and the Quran is full of laws, and there's more. Now, the Quran is not full of laws. There's more stuff about the morals. There's very few. I would say people say 1/6 of the Quran is about laws, and all the other stuff about how to be a good person in terms of all the types of stuff that we have to interact with. So that is why we end Surah Fatiha. So next week we'll go further. We're still discussing our belief. So this is how we believe. Surah Fatiha is part of the belief story. So and further we're going to go into the morals and the laws at a later stage. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Barakallahu wa li wa lakum fil Quran al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikri al-Hakim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.